Well, box score-wise, Raptors seemingly blown out again, losing by 14. But this game actually was better than you might think it was, and we'll explain why in tonight's post-game show. Reminder, listen, guys. I could have said, F it to the stream. I could have said, I want to watch the Cavaliers and Thunder, two top teams in each conference, play against each other. There was 26 lead change in the game. What a game I missed, because I watched the Raptors lose by 14 to the New York Knicks on a random Wednesday. That's how dedicated I am to bringing you guys Raptors content. That, first of all, deserves a like, especially if you enjoy the content today. And that deserves a sub to keep up to date with all the content we have coming your way. But it's a pretty ugly stretch here for the Raptors. I mean, we know that. Coming into this game, the Raptors have been blown out in 6 of their last 7 games. They lost by 14 to the Knicks, 29 to the Grizzlies, 29 to the Hawks, 54 to the Celtics. They beat Brooklyn. 24 to the Bucks, and they lost by 9 to the Magic, but they made this game look good late. They got blown out. They made it look good late in garbage time. And to a certain extent, they did the same thing today in the clutch. Boucher out of nowhere. Like, look, they actually didn't win the fourth quarter, but they came back in the fourth quarter. Boucher, like, out of nowhere, comes off the bench and drops 10 to make it look much more respectable in garbage time. However, I think in this scenario here, that garbage time flurry of points for the Raptors made this game look like it probably should have, because it was a lot more of a competitive game than maybe it seems. Now, it's competitive within reason, because the Raptors are not very good. The Knicks are very good. And the spread coming into this game was 12.5. We weren't expecting the Raptors to win or even really keep it close, but they were there, just within touching distance, just enough to keep you in it the entire game. And I think given what's gone down the last few weeks for this team, and given the opponents we're playing, I think they played pretty well. For 3 quarters, they played pretty well. I mean, the Knicks always had us where they wanted us. They were always up. It got kind of close in the third at some certain points, and it got within a few points here and there. Sure. But the Knicks always has it. But we were in the game. It wasn't like so many games as of late where it's done at halftime. No, like the Raptors were down by 4 at the half. They were down by 10 after 3. The Knicks then really started to blow us out in the fourth quarter. It kind of felt like the Raptors were just out of steam. Every game in this stretch of games, it felt like whose turn is it to say in the press conference, we need to show more effort as a team, we need to be better as a team, work harder as a team. Well, finally, they actually did. They dug in defensively. I think coaching-wise, they got this one right on the defensive end. They weren't over-helping. They weren't giving up too many threes as they had been doing. Offensively, big game from Immanuel Quickley. Seriously makes a massive difference for this team, floor spacing-wise. And just his points are necessary to this team. I know we don't crack 100, but your 3 guys, Barnes, Barrett, Quickley, all have good nights from a point standpoint, from a box score standpoint. In a game you lose by 14, Immanuel Quickley goes +7, right? Like, garbage time will skew some numbers here. But Immanuel Quickley, +7. Like, great game from him and needed it. But if the Raptors want to win some of these games, and maybe they don't, but like the players certainly do, they got to get help elsewhere. Grady Dick, I don't know what has happened, but he was awful today, and he has been awful recently. He needs to snap out of it. Kelly Olynyk, garbage time made it look better. He's clearly not good enough to be a backup center, but that's what he's been doing recently. David Mitchell played like 15 seconds tonight. I've been calling to play Shed more. Now that I'm seeing it, I'm kind of seeing why he wasn't playing more. But you may as well give him the minutes. He was -21 today. He was poor today. Didn't affect the game enough. And not that he ultimately made a difference here. The Knicks are the better team. Look, there's not really an answer for Towns, who had 27, and especially when he goes 3 of 3 from 3. Bridges just missed a bunch of shots because he was open. Hart, what a season he's having. Brunson, you kind of focus, I guess, a bit on him, try to take his game away, but does that lead to better opportunities elsewhere? I don't know. I maybe deeper drop coverage is the better way to approach defensively against a team like this, but it honestly, like, it wasn't that bad. This is what we've come to with the Raptors this season. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. I like the energy levels. I thought it was better defensively than it had been in other games. I thought it was better offensively in other games. You get good performances from the three main guys. Would have been nice to have a good game from Grady Dick, but that didn't materialize. But I don't come away feeling like they got blown out here. Even if the garbage time didn't happen and Boucher doesn't get 10 random points to make it look better on the box score and they lose by 25, I still would have probably been here saying, honestly, it still wasn't that bad. And there was some positive takeaway. This is the difference. Because these games here, people talk about Darko Rajakovic as development coach. This is not development, okay? Getting your ass kicked every night, being a disaster on defense, a disaster on offense, that's not development. You're learning nothing from that. But for 3 quarters here, at least some semblance of trying to build a defensive culture, setting the tone for your team on that end of the floor, and your 3 guys getting good touches. They're still not scheming good looks open for them, and it's all like ISO self-creation stuff. Like when Barnes, Bear, Quickley play well, they do it themselves. It is not the team working for them to help them and make it easier. But I've lost hope with the coaching staff, so I don't believe they're ever going to figure that out. But at least there was something there defensively today, and at least there was like a bit to like about the key guys on offense. As for the schedule coming up, your reward for 3 competitive quarters is you got to drive to Cleveland tonight or fly. I don't know what they'll do. And you play Cleveland in Cleveland tomorrow. Cleveland just beat OKC. Yep. Then Saturday, you beat the Pistons, who are playing well this season. You play the Pistons in Detroit. You come home. You might be able to beat Golden State. You won't beat Boston. Then you go to Milwaukee, which will be another tough game. Home against Orlando again. 2 away against Atlanta. Not a fun stretch of games coming up for the Raptors, who are already 8-29. The tanking, look, they're losing games, right? They're losing games. But I look at the recent stretch of games. They got nothing out of those losses. They got something out of today's game, and hopefully they can do enough to get something out of tomorrow's game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And guess where I'll be? Right here, same place, covering that game. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you enjoy this one and subscribe to keep up to date with that content. And hopefully we do see you on the next one.